Celtic yesterday played their second pre-season match of the summer, this time running out victorious as they beat Gamba Osaka 1-0. Whilst the Hoops still have a few more games to play between now and the start of the SPFL season, the club have been handed a giant boost of which we would like to share with you in today's video, whilst also going over all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours. But first, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Celtic content. Celtic's transfer business has been ramped up over the past few days and weeks, and has been practically confirmed that South Korean duo Yang Hyun-jun and Kwon Hyuk-koo will join the club. Meanwhile, reports state a deal for Mak Milwaukee is far down the line. One imagines the trio will be formally announced imminently, particularly after both Yang and Kwon were both pictured arriving in Glasgow airport. Images surfaced on Saturday evening of the pair together walking down what appears to be the corridor after jetting in. Deals for both the players assigned for Celtic have already been confirmed by their respective clubs. All that is needed for the signings of Yang and Kwon to be rubber stamped is an announcement from Celtic. This will come in due course, and with Milwaukee also reportedly in Glasgow with a deal practically done, a triple announcement could be in the offing. Just a quick one, boys and girls, to tell you that we have a new drop available on our website. We have the Brendan Rodgers Pope tee along with the Celtic Ultra t-shirts. Do browse the collection by going down to the link in the description or going to celticapparel.com. Anyway, let's get back into today's video. The Daily Record appeared to cause panic with Celtic support on Saturday evening that their star striker Kyogo will undergo surgery and miss the start of the next season. However, when you dig into the quotes they have from Brendan Rodgers and Kyogo, there's nothing to suggest surgery is imminent for the player. The Daily Record wrote, "The Parkhead boss revealed the forward faces a spell on the sidelines before the new campaign. That would suggest Kyogo is about to go under the knife before the boys kick off their new SPFL League title defence. It's not the case." Here are the quotes from Brendan Rodgers after Celtic's 1-0 win over Osaka. "Kyogo is still working on his fitness as he had a problem in Portugal with his shoulder. It's obviously something he deals with. I've seen it in the past with players when their shoulders can pop out a little bit. It's probably one of those where it probably won't be totally right until he has an operation on it. But he can obviously get by without it as he's not in any real pain other than when it pops out. We had it with Kieran Tierney a few years back when he had a similar thing, but it's always up to the player. I remember the injury against Hart in the last game of the season. He came off, but he's got that tough mentality which is great. He's a fighter, so he'll get back up to speed." Additionally, Kyogo made it clear he's good to go for the beginning of the season. He said, "There's nothing to get better or worse, it's fine, I'm on the pitch, and when you see the game you'll see how it is." There's nothing really new to say about the injury. Kyogo has been carrying it for a while but believes he's in a place to manage it. There will come a time when Kyogo will come under the knife, but it won't be before the beginning of pre-season. As we record this video, we've already seen the Record rejig their story a bit after their site crashed from the initial way they phrased Kyogo's injury, making it look like imminent surgery was needed. Celtic's solid centre-back Cameron Carter-Vickers is on course to make a speedy recovery from his recent injury. Record Sport has revealed that he's been fully participating in training sessions at Lennox Town over the weekend. Carter-Vickers hasn't seen any action since his heroic performances in the previous season's Scottish Cup semi-final triumph over Rangers. The defender, who's nicknamed the Fridge, underwent a pre-planned surgery to rectify a persistent knee issue and has been undergoing recovery therapy since then. With his successful return to individual training over the past few weeks, the central defender appears to be recovering steadily and is now preparing to regain his match fitness. According to the Daily Record, Carter-Vickers and Anthony Ralston have both made great strides at Lennox Town in recent days, whilst the rest of the team was touring Japan. Ralston will have to fill in for Alistair Johnston, with the Canadian not scheduled to be back until nearer September. The duo are expected to join their teammates upon the return earlier this week, prepping the forthcoming match against Wolverhampton Wanderers in Dublin next weekend. Celtic will certainly exercise caution in handling the fitness of both players as we get set to get back to business in the SPFL. There has been a number of wild and wonderful moves in the transfer market so far this summer. One of the latest is involving ex-Celtic striker Moussa Dembele. According to renowned reliable transfer journalist Fabrizio Romano, the French forward who scored 51 goals in 94 Hoops appearances between 2016 and 2018 is really close to joining Saudi Arabian side Al Ettifaq. Dembele will sign for the club as a free agent with an agreement in principle as reported by Romano. It is certain Dembele will be receiving a colossal wage in the Middle East, but what makes this move all the more intriguing is the fact that ex-Rangers gaffer Steven Gerrard is in charge of El Ettifaq. The Englishman never actually managed the Gers against Celtic whilst Dembele was playing for the club, but he will definitely know of his exploits in Glasgow. Dembele was a huge success at Celtic and constantly bagged in derbies and in Europe. He was a true big game player, and after a 5-year spell with Lyon in which he won the La Liga whilst on loan at Atletico Madrid for a short while, the 27-year-old is set to line his pockets and set himself up and his family for life. Celtic B are set to have a busy 2023-24 campaign. As well as competing in the Lowland League, SPFL Trust Trophy and UEFA Youth League, the side led by Darren O'Day and Stephen McManus will be taking part in the prestigious tournament consisting of several top English and European teams. The Premier League International Cup takes place every year, and for the 2023-24 campaign, Celtic have been drawn into groups with Brighton, Chelsea, West Ham, Dynamo Zagreb, Lyon and Valencia. There are 3 groups of 8 teams, with each side playing 4 matches in the group stage. The top 2 in each group progress into the quarter-finals along with the 2 best third-place teams. Although this tournament is for under 21 teams, sides are permitted to name 5 overage outfield players in their squads, along with 1 overage goalkeeper. This means that we may see some fringe players from the first team get some minutes for the B team to up their sharpness. Games take place throughout the 2023-24 season, which is set to be a busy one for Celtic's B side. Juggling several competitions will take a sizable effort from all those involved, but such engrossment will only bode well for the future. Andy Walker has expressed his surprise at calls for Joe Hart to be replaced and leave Celtic despite his dominant performances. Back in 2021, Celtic signed the English goalkeeper from Tottenham Hotspur after years and years of struggle for the goalkeeper. That once title-winning keeper at Manchester City had fallen off a cliff, as he went from being England's number 1 to no longer getting picked for his country. Joe Hart's last cap came in 2017. But during his days at Parkhead, and as the 36-year-old is coming towards the end of his career, he has lit that torch paper again and been a key player for Celtic, with Walker pointing out that he did well last season and made some big saves for the club, as he told Go Radio. That was under the stewardship of treble-winning boss Ange Postecoglou, as another treble-winning manager, Brendan Rodgers, has now entered the building again. It seems as though Rodgers is keeping things open about his current number 1, which hints at a possible change. Whether that be now or by the end of the year, with Walker sharing his thoughts. Maybe surprising the amount of speculation he gets around himself, this goalkeeper, said Walker. I thought Joe Hart did well last season. There are some Celtic supporters who would like a change. I thought he was dominant. I thought he made some big saves at important times, something Celtic had lacked previously. It just depends on how Brendan Rodgers sees him, and you know how he wants to play. You know he likes the goalkeepers to be out of the box a lot and be good with the ball at their feet. Great passes and build from there, so I think he will stay. Celtic fans, what do you make of the injury boost, and are you confident ahead of the new campaign? Yes or no? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. That brings us to the end of today's video, guys. Make sure you drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for daily Celtic content. Remember, we have released our brand new Celtic t-shirts. We have our Brendan Rodgers Pope t-shirt and our Celtic Ultra t-shirts too. You can find them at celticapparel.com or just go down to the link in the description. Thank you, take care, bye bye.